In the realm of New York City real estate, few buildings have generated as much admiration and controversy as 432 Park Avenue. Hailed by its developer Harry Macklowe as the building of the 21st century, this soaring skyscraper was envisioned as the successor to icons like the Empire State Building. Designed to symbolize modern opulence and architectural ambition, 432 Park was intended to dominate the city's skyline and real estate market. But beneath its sleek facade lies a story filled with structural headaches, high-profile lawsuits, and a growing list of regrets among the elite homeowners who once saw it as the ultimate prize. A tower above all, rising nearly 426 meters, or 1,396 feet, 432 Park Avenue commands attention as one of the tallest residential towers on Earth. Its extreme elevation offers sweeping, unobstructed views of Manhattan, Central Park, and beyond. With such a commanding presence, it promised a new standard in ultra-luxury living. The tower's units sold for astronomical sums, with its penthouse reportedly purchased for $70 million. To put that into perspective, the median cost of a home in New York City is around $850,000. For the average New Yorker, owning such an apartment would take roughly 800 years of full-time work. It's a figure that illustrates the immense financial divide between the building's residents and the city around them. Welcome to Billionaires Row. 432 Park Avenue rises from Manhattan's 57th Street, the heart of Billionaires Row, an elite stretch known for ultra-luxury towers catering to the world's richest. Situated in the Midtown Special Zoning District, the area allows high-density, mixed-use development, giving developers flexibility to build tall. To go even higher, they bought air rights from neighboring buildings, essentially purchasing sky instead of land. This strategy sparked a vertical gold rush, resulting in a cluster of pencil-thin skyscrapers. Among them, 432 Park became the most iconic, breaking the mold, literally. Most skyscrapers taper as they rise to enhance stability and meet zoning codes, but not 432 Park. Designed by the late Raphael Vignoli, the tower kept a uniform 28.5 meter square floor plate from base to crown, inspired by a 1905 Joseph Hoffman trash can. Its extreme slenderness, 3 times more than the wind-sensitive threshold, posed structural challenges. Engineers solved this with a double concrete tube system, a 9x9 meter inner core for elevators and stairs, and an outer frame linked by spandrel beams every 12 floors. This eliminated interior columns, creating open, luxurious spaces ideal for wealthy buyers seeking panoramic views. The wind problem. 432 Park Avenue's slender form made it especially vulnerable to wind-induced vibrations known as vortex shedding, which can cause noise, motion sickness, and long-term damage. To combat this, engineers included 5 double-height mechanical floors that allowed wind to pass through, reducing pressure buildup. Still more was needed. A traditional tuned mass damper would have taken up too much space, so engineers designed a compact alternative, 2 massive pendulums on either side of the core. Each could move over 3 meters and together fit within just 3 stories, effectively stabilizing the tower during strong winds. An artistic launch. In keeping with its ambitious identity, 432 Park Avenue launched not with a typical real estate ad, but with a $1 million art film. Developer Harry Macklowe hired an Emmy-nominated crew to produce a promotional video featuring high-wire artist Philippe Petit, who famously walked between the World Trade Center towers in 1974. In this surreal marketing piece, Petit is depicted walking from the Empire State Building to 432 Park Avenue, a bold and abstract symbol of ambition and daring. The film was never widely released, shown only to potential buyers at private events. Nevertheless, it generated considerable buzz. The building's unique marketing strategy seemed to pay off. By 2014, half the units had sold, totaling over $1 billion. A year later, 90% of the apartments were under contract, including units that cost well over $1 million. At the time, 432 Park Avenue was celebrated as the epitome of luxury and success, but that perception would soon unravel. Cracks in the facade, literally. In 2021, residents of 432 Park Avenue sued developers CIM Group and Macklowe Properties for $125 million, citing over 1,500 design and construction defects. Complaints included wind-related noises, flooding, trash chute booms, and elevator failures that left residents stranded. The lawsuit accused the developers of negligence and cutting corners, while even CIM's chairman reportedly acknowledged the issues. Developers denied wrongdoing, claiming the building's complex system simply needed post-occupancy fine-tuning, and blamed the board for blocking repair efforts. Developers versus residents. Disputes over construction flaws are not uncommon in New York, particularly among high-profile developments. However, the lawsuit against 432 Park Avenue quickly became one of the most intense and public legal battles in the city's real estate history. With more than 4 million pages of documentation and over 45 days of deposition testimony, the case has dragged on for years. Responsibility remains unclear, with contractors, subcontractors, and developers all passing the blame. Meanwhile, the building's reputation has continued to suffer. Adding to the intrigue were comments from Vignoli himself, who admitted that the project didn't meet all expectations. His candid remarks revealed tension between him and Macklowe, with sources suggesting that the developer frequently intervened in the design process. The strained relationship between vision and execution may have contributed to the building's persistent issues. A second, even bigger lawsuit. In 2024, the condo board filed a second lawsuit, this time seeking $160 million and accusing the developers of deliberate fraud. The complaint alleged that 432 Park's facade was riddled with cracks and structural weaknesses that allowed water to seep in, corroding the interior. The board claimed the developers were aware of these issues during construction, but chose to silence consultants, ignore warnings, and conceal the defects to preserve profit margins. The developers once again denied the accusations and moved to have the case dismissed. Regardless of the outcome, the case further tarnished the image of a building once held up as a symbol of urban luxury. Sales still climbing? You might expect that such negative publicity would scare off potential buyers. Surprisingly, that hasn't happened. Although resale prices have dipped, apartments continue to sell, proof of the enduring allure of location and prestige. It appears that for some buyers, the benefits of owning a property in one of Manhattan's most recognizable towers still outweigh the risks, legal and otherwise. So is 432 Park Avenue a success? In financial terms, the answer is a resounding yes. The building's total projected sellout was an astounding $3.1 billion. According to Macklowe, the project generated approximately $900 million in profit for CIM Group. While sales may have slowed and controversies erupted, 432 Park Avenue remains one of the most profitable residential developments in the city's history. Yet success is a matter of perspective. From a resident experience standpoint, the building's track record is far more mixed. Its reputation for structural problems, poor management, and costly litigation casts a long shadow over its legacy. Still, there's no denying its cultural impact or architectural boldness. The end of an era. In many ways, 432 Park Avenue represents the peak and perhaps the end of an era in Manhattan real estate. Recent city planning initiatives like New York's City of Yes now require that at least 20% of new high-density developments include affordable housing. In a city where 1 in 4 residents struggle to afford basic necessities, these policy changes signal a shift away from luxury-first development toward more inclusive urban planning. This changing tide means future towers like 432 Park will be harder to build and harder to sell. Yet Manhattan's history shows us that even as priorities evolve, luxury will always have a place. The towers of Billionaires Row, like the Art Deco masterpieces of the 1920s and the flashy icons of the 1980s, reflect the spirit of their time, a lasting legacy. Whatever the outcome of its legal battles, 432 Park Avenue has already made its mark. It is bold, controversial, and impossible to ignore, just like the city it calls home. Whether viewed as a modern marvel or a cautionary tale, it stands tall as a monument to ambition, excess, and the delicate balance between architectural daring and real-world consequences. In the end, perhaps that's what makes it a true New Yorker. And that brings us to the end of the fascinating story behind 432 Park Avenue. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the world's most talked about towers, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.